To the inevitable panic of Republicans across the country, Taylor Swift took to Instagram today, posting to her 282 million followers, "Today, March 5th, is the presidential primary in Tennessee and 11 other states and territories. I wanted to remind you guys to vote the people who most represent you into power. If you haven't already, make a plan to vote today. Whether you're in Tennessee or somewhere else in the U.S., check your polling places and times at vote.org. So that we're clear, nothing will send the right into more of a tailspin than Taylor Swift committing the sin of suggesting that people exercise their fundamental right to vote in the United States of America. We're not even talking about advocating for a specific candidate or party. All she did was suggest that folks vote, and that's enough to make the right lose their collective minds. That's how much the Republicans love the Constitution. And if you need an example of these meltdowns, here you go.
We have had enough of Taylor Swift for now.
She shouldn't be liberal. She should be a total conservative, given everything.
The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset.
Yesterday, she flew private from New York City to Baltimore. Yet she constantly talks about climate change. So just please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you.
I think she should just stick to her singing and let her love life be what it is.
The New York Times just speculated she's a lesbian.
A new poll shows 18% of voters are likely to vote for whichever candidate Taylor Swift endorses. Uh-oh.
Biden effectively has Taylor Swift as his VP.
A single post of hers led to 35,000 new registrants. That's arguably more power than the president.
She's sharing links. And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, sponsored by Pfizer.
I mean, what's her stance on policy, economic policy, foreign policy? Should we ask Taylor Swift how to sponsor Iran?
So don't get involved. Don't get involved in politics. We don't want to see you there.
And of course, we couldn't leave out the grand conspiracy between her, the White House, and the NFL. And if you think I'm kidding and that this country couldn't possibly be that insane, I've got bad news for you.
Claiming that this year's Super Bowl is going to be rigged in favor of the Chiefs. He says that's because it's going to set the stage for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to endorse President Biden on stage. Do you think she's going to endorse Biden at the Super Bowl, Brian?
Okay, number one, if there's going to be a fix at the Super Bowl, it'll be the biggest scandal in the history of the world.
Yes.
It's the biggest game the whole world watches now. Nobody told the 49ers because I'm pretty sure they play tackle football pretty well, too. So it's a crazy statement. But about the Taylor Swift situation, it's written up today. I'm not sure if it's the New York Times or Washington Post. They seem to be the same paper. But they talk about how the Biden administration wants to do this unbelievable fundraiser with Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Who would have thought of using Democratic presidents? And then number two, one has a little Epstein problem. I'm not sure he should be bringing money in for anybody. But then the other story is how Taylor Swift, their special strategy is to get young people to vote, is to have her support him. Now, she evidently tweeted out support for him, and I saw the full screen this morning. I don't remember that. 2018, she went for the candidate, Phil Bredesen, against Marsha Blackburn. Marsha Blackburn felt that. She does have power. But it would be the single dumbest thing a mega superstar could ever do. Why would you tell half the country that you don't agree with them in this highly polarized time? You stay out of it. Hey, listen, I'm Taylor Swift. I like this guy. He happens to play football for a living. I'm on the stage a lot, selling out. That's it. I think it would be the craziest thing ever for her to do it. And Joe Biden's not worth it. I mean, my goodness. If you need Taylor Swift to get you another 4 years, that's how bad your first 4 years have been. You're done. You're finished. You're through.
Now, for those fortunate enough not to traffic in the bowels of the right-wing media ecosystem, that conspiracy theory is that there was a coordinated scheme ranging from the NFL to the U.S. government to have the Chiefs win the Super Bowl so that Taylor Swift would have a platform to then use to endorse Joe Biden and deliver him the White House in 2024. Imagine jumping through all of those mental gymnastics, all because you're too deluded to accept the fact that maybe, just maybe, people don't want to vote for Republicans. But again, despite these constant meltdowns, it's also important to remember that Taylor Swift hasn't actually done anything. These people lose their minds over a figment of their imagination. Taylor Swift hasn't said anything partisan in this entire election cycle, and yet just this woman waking up in the morning has this entire ecosystem so spooked that they're ready to pounce at a moment's notice. Now, this isn't the first time that Taylor Swift has come out with a wholly uncontroversial message about voting. In September of 2023, in honor of National Voter Registration Day, Taylor posted on Instagram, "I've been so lucky to see so many of you guys at my US shows recently. I've heard you raise your voices and I know how powerful they are. Make sure you're ready to use them in our elections this year." And she included a link to register at vote.org. That post helped facilitate what ultimately amounted to over 35,000 registrations, the most since 2020 and a 23% jump over last year. The number of 18-year-olds registered was more than double 2022. Vote.org reported a 1,226% jump in participation in the hour after her post, averaging 13,000 users every 30 minutes. At least 157,000 eligible voters visited the registration site in one day, including a 115% increase in 18-year-old registrations. If you needed to know where exactly Republicans stand on the very concept of democracy, just look at how they react when someone helps people exercise their right to vote. A full-scale, all-hands-on-deck attack against a pop singer for the crime of suggesting that people cast ballots in the United States of America. I mean, my God, how far the Republican Party has fallen. Of course, the reason that Republicans are losing their minds is because even though Swift's appeal now was decidedly nonpartisan, she has come out in favor of Democrats in the past. Here's that famous moment of her discussing breaking her silence on politics ahead of the 2018 election, in which Republican Marsha Blackburn was running for the U.S. Senate.
Other thing, just from a security standpoint, Taylor Swift comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that. I'm sad that I didn't 2 years ago, but I can't change that. I'm saying right now that this is something that I know is right, and you guys, I need to be on the right side of history. And if he doesn't win, then at least I tried.
Taylor, here's the problem.
I just want to read you what I wrote, and I'm going to try to start. I just really want you to know that this is important to me.
I totally agree with the issue.
Have you heard first?
Yes, I've read the entire thing, and the bottom line right now, I'm terrified. I'm the guy that went out and bought armored cars.
I worry for her safety as much as anybody does, maybe more. It really is a big deal. She votes against fair pay for women. She votes against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is just basically protecting us from domestic abuse and stalking. She thinks that if you're a gay couple, or even if you look like a gay couple, you should be allowed to be kicked out of a restaurant. It's really basic human rights, and it's right and wrong at this point. And I can't see another commercial and see her disguising these policies behind the words Tennessee Christian values. Those aren't Tennessee Christian values. I live in Tennessee. I am Christian. That's not what we stand for. I need to do this. I need you to forgive me for doing it, because I'm doing it.
And so now, because she's not a right-wing sycophant, any effort by her to bolster democracy, even if it's merely suggesting that people register to vote, is viewed as a hostile act by Republicans. But remember, party of the Constitution or something. So look, if Republicans want to alienate young people, fine. If they want to alienate the fan base of the biggest pop star in America, fine. If they want to alienate the fan base of professional sports, fine. If they want to alienate anyone who doesn't pass their ideological purity tests, fine. It's not all of us who are going to suffer, it's them. And the fact is that they can't help themselves. At this point, the only thing the GOP stands for is its uncompromising pursuit of power and their willingness to destroy anyone who doesn't bend to their will. Their reaction to Taylor Swift for the crime of encouraging people to vote is a testament to exactly that. So hopefully people take this right-wing meltdown as a warning about what the GOP is willing to accept, which is total, undying fealty for their extreme, unpopular agenda and nothing less. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on this screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.